Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It is always a pleasure for me to be with you and to bring you some amazing people who share their story, who share their knowledge, and who are here to inspire you, because that's actually the most important thing, because this show is about greatness. It's about making sure you get inspired and you take whatever you learn here to step into your greatness, to step into your power, to become the best version of yourself. My name is Mireille Tulekima. You know me by now, the Greatness Engineer. And this show is brought to you by the Mireille Tulekima Global Leadership Organization. And we have the support of, several sponsors, the She Exists, the Widow organization, and so much more. But today it's going to be about mastering our mindset. And I have my guest is going to tune in from the UK. And you probably, I don't know, people who are familiar with Facebook have probably had the opportunity to see her. You can see behind that, I'm not to give you a little bit of insight on her. Her name is Tarnya Coley. She is, an award-winning publisher and author and speaker. And she's going to have the opportunity to introduce herself and let you know who she is, and really, tell us a little bit more about her journey as a publisher, as an author, and how, and share with us how she helps people around the world to, to actually tell their stories, to bring their voice, to pen whatever story they have in their art, and really share it with the world. And we gonna be so sit tight, and let us know where you're watching from, and we will be really happy to to have you participate and be part of the conversation, because like I said, this show is for you. This show, we bring you all the knowledge, we bring you the champion, we bring you the greatness engineers, like I call them. So make sure you get the opportunity to connect with them and to ask them questions. And I ask you as well to share. It's not like what's happening in Vegas, who stays in Vegas. Here, we allow you to share everything that you learn. So let's start and bring Tarnya with us, and really greatness. So let's go and have this show started. Another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Mireille Tulekima Global Leadership Organization.
Real is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily actions.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Please. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. Impact yourself positively, and from there impact others, and you are not alone.
So welcome, Tanya, to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It is a pleasure. I am excited about, having you, hosting you, and really getting, to have you, with my audience, just sharing your message, sharing, your knowledge, especially on a subject that is really important, really mastering our mindset. We really need that, in every single situation that we find ourselves in order to to reach that stage and start this anticipated amazing conversation. Just want you to introduce yourself to the audience. Let us know who is Tanya and what are you doing, what is important to know about you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. And I've been watching your journey for about 5 years now. And it's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely inspiring to see what you're doing and how you're making an impact in the world. So thank you for having me. So who is Tanya? So I am Tanya. I am from the UK in Manchester. And in my former life, I was a lecturer. But in 2018, I started my own company called TC Publishing, which is my name, Tarnya Coley Publishing, and helping authors or aspiring authors to find their voice, pen their stories, and publish their books. I am an author as well. I have 5 publications on Amazon. You can check them out. And also, I am a speaker, international speaker. And as I said, I'm a publisher. And I absolutely love helping people to discover that story that they want to publish and get writing them. Hi, Pat. She's from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you're well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do. And I take people on a journey. And that's what I get really excited about, is helping people to get that story out that's in their head, a book that they've wanted to write for years, and being able to do that. And I have a proven strategy that works. All my books are written in 90 days or less. And Noreen Clark, who's one of my clients, who's based in London in the UK, she was in my Authors Lab, which is a 90-day writing roadmap. It's a book publishing program. And she wrote her book in 90 days, and her book will be out
Whoa.
soon. So that's very exciting. And that is me in a nutshell. Hi, Patricia from Manchester, another client of mine.
So, yeah, we have, I mean, full house already. I think, you're, like you said, we have Noreen. Noreen is tuning in from London. So we welcome Noreen. We have Pat. Pat is in Johannesburg. Pat is it's a sister. She's a sister. So welcome, Pat. And she's been one of our, she's been in the audience for years now when since we've started. And we have also Patricia. Patricia is here. So welcome. Please, be part of the conversation. Like I said, it's your show and it's all about you. And I just want to, to ask you, you said that, you were, a lecturer. So what actually drove you to now, focus your activity and make it really your profession and your life in a way to help people to share their stories and to get themselves heard and do it in such a speedy, a very quick time. So what led you to that?
That is a great question. And many people do ask me that. And
Mm-hmm.
so in 2017, about Christmas time, my pastor was preaching a message, Are you owning your future? And I really thought about it, and I thought I kind of am. But he was asking, Are you 100% owning your future? And I was in this great career for 15 years, helping people to get their degrees, go into the healthcare profession. I absolutely loved it. Even had the opportunity to write a degree for Sheffield Hallam University and teach it, all of that great stuff. But there was more. I don't know if anyone who's listening now can identify with that. There is more for me to do. And I made that decision right there and then that I am going to write my book. It came to me, for years, write your book, write your book. But because of procrastination and the fear of, I don't think I'm a great writer. I don't think I can do all of that. I'm academic. But something kept saying to me, write your book. And my first book is called Open Doors. And it's about my story, where my mum had me in the 70s. She was 16 and pregnant, told to leave home. And that was her beginning. And I like what on your slide it says about champions. My mum's a champion. And she was 16, pregnant. And she had a dream that she wanted to become a social worker. And she was the first person in her family to graduate university and become a social worker. So the message of the Open Doors, my book, is that it's possible. Your beginning doesn't have to be your end. And I decided, I think I'm going to step out and start my business. And I spoke to my husband about it, and he was like, yeah, go for it. So I handed in my notice the summer of 2018. And I had a great mentor called Lisa Chi, MBE, and she mentored me in how, like you said about acceleration, how to accelerate quickly. And that's what made me then say, do you know what? I've written books of myself. I've self-published books, and I think I can help others do the same, getting unstuck and living their purpose and holding their dream in their hands. And that's what made me do that.
And that's a big step, isn't it? To not only start to write your own book, but then push it further to really bring people into your dream and help them. Because it's been always said that we all have a story buried inside of us, but then writing this story, it's another it's another story in itself. So how do you get those story out of your clients, and what is the role of the mindset, because we're really talking about the mindset here. So in what kind of mindset did you need to be yourself, one who is you're offering this service, but also in what kind of mindset your clients needs to have to be able to extirp this story from them, with the fear and all the whatever the fear of sharing, especially personal stories too, with the world.
That's another great question. And how my authors feel, I felt the same way. In, like you talked about, the fear of writing your book, feeling overwhelmed. Where do I start? Should I write it? I'm not a great writer. And all those things can come to us. But I speak to my clients about eliminating that. You have to then serve notice to those things. And it's so important that you have to serve notice. And there's something that I always say all the time, is that it all begins and ends with your mind. What you give power to has the power over you if you allow it. So it's about starting from that point, about mastering your mind, that these things are going to come, these negative thoughts, and we can't help what comes into our minds, but we can help what we dwell on. So it's about being transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's about holding those thoughts captive and then replacing it with something positive. I can do this. And it's reframing your language and the way that you speak. I can do this. It is possible. And Noreen, who's one of my clients who's listening now, she had a lot of fear and doubt and overwhelm. But she wrote her book in 90 days. And I'm going to share with you how. I have a proven strategy. And like I said, how do you get it out of your head and onto paper? Which is a great question, because I come across a lot of people that for years they wanted to write a book. So how are you going to get me to write it in 90 days?
Yeah, exactly. I've been having this book for years, and now you're telling me I'm going to write it in 90 days?
Exactly. I don't believe you, Tarnya. I don't believe you. What I do, like we talked about mastering your mindset, like Pat's just said there, and Noreen's just talked about the fear and the overwhelm kept coming up. But it will come. But it's about serving notice to that and really pushing through. So we do talk a lot about mindset first. And that's why I love the topic that we're doing now, is mastering your mindset. And in one of my books called Plan It, See It, Anticipate It, which is available on Amazon, I have a section on about mastering your mindset and having a mindset for success, and I have a 7-step formula for that. And then what we do is then brainstorm your ideas. Why do you want to write your book? Because if you just want to write a book just because, it's not going to really motivate you. You have to have a strong enough why. And that why is going to propel you and move you forward in order to write your book. So if you're writing for impact, you want to change people's minds, you want to help people with your story, you want to give hope, those things are great whys in writing your book. And we come up with a little plan, and then we meet fortnightly for 90 days. I'm your accountability partner. I'm your motivator. We have structure, writing routines, talking about storytelling techniques, how to get that book out for the readers, who's your audience, who's going to read it. And we have so many of those questions. And like Pat's just said, the why is super important. Because if you just want to just write it because, or revenge, I want to vent, it's not going to be a book for impact, and it's not going to motivate you to write. So your why is very, very important, and that's the point that we start from.
And I see that Noreen has been commenting quite a lot here. I mean, yes, so excited to be here. And Tanya help and support was so valuable in writing my book, Miracle and Magic, out of, release soon. And she talks about, the fear and the overwhelm that keep, coming, that you have to battle. And I see that, Pat, kept, the mastering your mind thing, which is, really the important part in the process, where, you really have to be focused on, having the right mindset. And the why what is important is not just about, coming and saying, oh, I want to be an author, and you don't even know why you're working this book. And also Nolene is sharing one of the powerful quote, be your transformee by the renewal of your mind. So really powerful. As you can see, this conversation is already creating a lot of conversation, and really, and that's what we were saying, is that we all have, something that we're really hiding inside of us, who can actually be a story, who can actually be a book. It's just a matter of finding not only the right person, but the mindset. So we're going to have a break, and we will be back with you, Tanya, to know a little bit more about this process and what are the key challenges and the key thing that we need to focus on, and not only on the mindset, but other practical things that are important to a powerful process, but a successful process for your offer to become the valuable resources in terms of their journey, sharing their journey, and also making sure that they know their why and really reach their purpose. So don't go anywhere. We will have a short break, and we will be back with Tanya for to continue this already very inspiring conversation. So we are back. We are back with Tanya, and we have started, the conversation, in such an inspiring way. And I hope that, whoever joining us, you are ready to take the notes and ready to bring the message out of this room when we finish. But we're gonna continue just, with Tanya, and I just wanted to ask you, what obviously we talked about the mindset, but what are the key thing, because not everyone knows their why, so when your client come to you and they have this uncertainty about really not knowing their why, and why they know they have a story, but they don't really know how to and why, and really focusing on why they are doing it and who they're targeting. So what do you do about it?
Wow. So there's many things that I do. So I put my teacher hat on and we talk about, what book would you like to write? And then they'll say my life story. And I'll say, okay, you've been on this earth quite a long time and it's going to be a very big book. Is there an aspect of your story that's compelling, that may be impactful, that'll be helpful and useful for other people? So I had a lady in America, and one of my clients, Pila, and she's doing it about mothers and helping mothers after they've had babies, because it can be overwhelming. I have 2 children and it can be overwhelming. And that's what she's writing about. So I said, okay, why do you want to write to those mothers about overwhelm? And it makes them, it's about critical thinking and making them dig a bit deeper. And it's very thought-provoking. And then she started to unpack why she wanted to write about that particular topic. So that's what I do with my clients. We unpack the questions. What book are you writing? Who is it for? Who will it impact? What's your message? And once they've read it, just imagine you've written it, and imagine they've got to the end. What do you want them to leave with? What impression? Because they've invested time in reading your book. They've invested money in buying your book. Imagine just getting to the end and there's nothing. What was the purpose? And then it makes them think, and they think, oh my gosh, Tanya, I just thought I was just going to write a book. But it makes them critically think, because there's thousands of books. Why your book? And that's how we get to unpack the why.
And that's it can be a long process, isn't it? Because and that's why I'm really curious, how do you fit it into 90 days, it's because especially it can be like you said, one of the things that you started with, you've been on her for quite some time, so how do you summarize the whole thing in 90 days to make it a success at the end? Because I've seen that a lot of people been doing really well and been successful sharing their story. So what is the secret of this 90 days process?
Well, the secret, that song says, I've got the key, I got the secret. I have the key and I got the secret. So we meet over 90 days and we cut out all the fluff. So the first session would be on brainstorming your idea. And then we do it in groups, and we help each other to brainstorm the ideas. And then we're looking at our why. I give them lots of questions, and we meet. We have 6 sessions, and I give them accountability and structure. And if you spend 20 minutes per day writing your book over the 90 days, the first draft of your book is complete. And that's what my clients do. We meet fortnightly. And we look at the structure, we do the chapter planning, we do the subheadings, we look at our call to action, and we look at how to structure it. So the first part is really just getting it out of your head and onto paper. Then after the 90 days, we then do a structure. You can rejig things. Oh, that should go here, or that should go there, or let's take this bit out. And that's how it can be done. And it seems like it's impossible, but I've had loads of clients come through thinking, I'm not sure about this process, Tanya, but because it's so motivating and encouraging and inspiring, that they actually do it. And sometimes you get pockets of time where actually I can do more than 20 minutes on this book. And you don't just have to type your book either. You can speak to your phone, you can speak to your laptop, it can interpret your words and just type it all out. So there's different ways and processes of getting your book out of your head and onto paper. And that's what we discuss in our group coaching sessions.
Yeah. So are you incorporating the new, there's so many new software, new things, we have the chat GPT, we have all kind of AI and things like that. Is it something that you've started, incorporating, or is it, you still, cling to the traditional way of doing, writing your book in your 90 days, just, staying really conservative on your process?
That's a great question, because yes, there is new technology. So I say to my clients, you either want to, you can speak to your phone. There's a dictation button on your phone. So instead of writing it out, then typing it out, that makes the process a lot longer. So if you talk to your phone and then send it to your email and then copy and paste it and put it into Word, you actually write more that way when you just speak into it. And my clients have said, yeah, that works. But then you have to go over it and edit it, because sometimes it doesn't pick up your language clearly. So there's a dictation button on your laptop. You may want to speak to your laptop instead. So I give them different softwares that they can use to speed up the process. If you want to write it out, some of my clients they've written it out. You can actually, now there's a software that you can screenshot. You can take a picture of what you've written. You can use Google Lens and it will copy and paste your text, and you copy it and paste it into Word. So there's other processes now. So if you want to write it, you can, but now you can take pictures of it, and then the Google Lens will then translate that into text for you. So yeah, we use many different ways, and I give them the options, and whatever's comfortable for you, you use that.
And that's the most important thing, is making sure that the clients actually use what they are comfortable with, because otherwise it can actually create a blockage if we impose a process or a tool to them. Because you really want them to feel at ease and really tell their story and be authentic about telling the story. And that's really the most important thing. But you probably know it, the book is one thing, but becoming a writer or an author is actually beyond the book. And that's the question that I have: how do you address this beyond the book thing with your clients? Because we know it's not just about the book, we know it's something else, and it's linked to the why. But how do you, from the beginning, make sure that they understand that it's not going to be just about the book, it can be something bigger than that?
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. And a lot of my clients, they don't think beyond the book. They just think, I just want to write it. But I explore that there's more with your book. So I give them me as an example. I've written 5 books, but it doesn't just stop there. And the book opens doors for you. So with Noreen, who's one of my clients, she is a coach. So the book that we have, it is actually the cover and the colour and everything is to do with their branding. So we look at, do you want to become a coach? Do you want to become a speaker? Do you want to become a workshop facilitator? Do you want to go to events and sell at the back of the room? Do you want to put on your own events? And we explore those options of what you can do with your book. Do you want to turn your book into a course, a workbook, a journal, merchandise? And it opens their minds up to so much. There is actually so much more. And when you think in that way, you can start doing a plan of how you're going to do this, because you've got this great book and you've invested loads of time, loads of money into it. What's next? And I always discuss what's next, because putting it on Amazon is great, it's credible. You may not get as much money, the royalties and all of that, but you can make a lot of money by doing other things, and that's what we explore.
Fantastic. So we're just gonna go into the room here. I have Adigun. Adigun is here. Hello, Adigun. Thanks for joining us. Adigun is joining from Nigeria. Is great insight, and Pat again, just telling us what she's picked up from what you've shared. The structure, process, support, discipline, and deliberate action is my takeaway. Thank you, Pat, and then we have Noreen again. Yes, the chapter art structure, and speaking to my phone, sent to my email tab on my PC. So right, I was especially at night. Yeah, the right time is important, and get inside our memory was all was very helpful for me. So really trying to adapt to what will work for the offer, and we just discussed as well the fact that it has to go beyond the book, and really create it's almost creating a business out of the book, and laying really the foundation. The book is laying the foundation for the business, because there is so many opportunity that this book can bring to you. So really great. So we're gonna have another break, and we come back to for the last part of the show, where I really want you to let us know, what are the key projects that you are working on right now, and how some of the people in the audience can benefit from, and really have your last message to us, as we leave this platform. But don't go anywhere. We will be back in few minutes. And please, continue to participate. It's been very active, and to ask any question to Tanya, and also let us know how you feel about what is been shared, and hopefully you can also later on connect with Tanya, if you don't have a book, to write your book, your story, and really get it going and expand, as you step into your greatness, sharing your story. But don't go anywhere. We will be back in few minutes.
Don't hide the real you behind clouds of darkness. Let your light shine as brightly as the star inside you. Inside you lies the queen. Now it's time for the queen to rise. A beautiful yet humble girl who saved a generation through her bravery. Of the 24 books in the Hebrew Bible, 2 are named for women, one of which is the story of Queen Esther. Do you have a story to tell? Now is your chance to become a part of one of the biggest collaborative biblical projects yet.
So we are back. We are back with Tanya, and we are talking about, the mastering our mindset, but in the context of writing our story, writing our book. And Tanya is award-winning publisher, and she's been working with people around the world, and she's now sharing, how she a method of coaching people around the world to share their story, but also to go beyond the book as well. So one question that I have, Tanya, what are the key? Do you have any key program? We talked about the 90 days program, but anything else that that you can share with us, that you help authors of anybody with, in terms of coaching for their book, or for anything else that you can share with the audience.
Yeah, so the different things that I do, if you're in the UK, I am doing an author's breakfast next month, the 24th of June, which is going to be really exciting, where we have a delicious breakfast, but also we're going to be talking about writing your book, talking about mindset. We're going to be doing mind mapping of your book. We're going to be talking about turning your book into a business, how to effectively promote your book, how to edit your book effectively. When we talk about editing, we're talking about self-editing before it goes to the professional. And I have key speakers that are going to be there as well speaking. So that's really exciting. That's, if you want to know about that and you're in the area, you can talk to me about that. But then also the 3rd of July, we're going to be starting, it's called the Authors Lab, which is a 90-day writing roadmap. It's group coaching for you to write your book. There's a Facebook page, there's loads of resources and materials. We meet fortnightly on Zoom, up to an hour, where we coach you through your book. There'll be videos, resources, and then also there's all the mini courses that I put on as well. So if you want to know more information about what I do and what I offer and how you can work with me, you can email info@ibelieveIcan.co.uk.
Okay, all right. So all good. So a lot of, a lot of resources, a lot of, services that you can, inquiry about, with Tanya, and see, what resonate with you. Because as we mentioned, all of, during our conversation, is really about making sure that we put you in the right mindset to share she puts you in the right mindset to share your story and use the tools that are working for you instead of having to impose something to you. It's all about you. It's all about, you willing to understanding your why, and you willing to share your story, willing to connect with, the right audience to pass on your message. So really, really important that you connect and inquiry a little bit more. So I mean, just to, to push things further, what do you think is important, as we see, because things are changing all the time. We all have stories, like you said. So what do you think is very important to share with anyone that is right now hesitating to, to even try to share their story, and who actually have something to say but don't really, is scared and don't really want to take the first step?
Yes, that's very important about taking the first step. And I think it was Pat that said taking deliberate action. So my book is called Plan It, See It, Anticipate It. And that is very key. If you're deciding, I'm going to write my book, but you have these doubts and these fears and all these things are happening, all these objections, you have to make a deliberate action, because our mindsets, they're always going to be playing with us. And I always say, tell that committee in your mind to shut up and sit down, because it's always going to be playing up. But we have to make a decision, I'm going to do it, and then setting aside dedicated time and making it one of your top 3 priorities, that I'm going to do this. Because believe it or not, can you believe we're at the end of May already? Where 5 months gone. So the key thing is first is to make that decision, because life happens to us all. Things are always going to happen, but we have to make that decision. I remember when I was doing my coaching with Les Brown, who's one of the godfather of motivation, and he always said about taking that dedicated time, and you have to make a decision, which is important. And I'm going to give you seven things that I think are really important. And it is about making that decision, because it's never going to be the right time. We're never going to have the right, the right amount of time, because we're always busy. But if we make a deliberate decision and we take deliberate action and we start to focus on the things that we really want, because we know what we don't want. I don't like that. Oh no, wouldn't do that. But we're never decisive on what we actually do want. And then making a plan and taking action. So what's really important is to stop that stinking thinking.
Thinking. I like that.
We have to upgrade our thinking. As a man thinketh, So is he. Stop dwelling on your what ifs. What if it doesn't work? What if this? What if that? Reframe the question. What if it does work? What if I can write this book and turn it into a business? What if? And so it's reframing your question and stop dwelling on the things that may go wrong. Try it and see what happens. Okay, so that's very important. And then using a morning routine. I'm very big on routines. What's your routine like in the morning? Do you just roll out of bed and just roll on with your day? You know, positive affirmations, being grateful, having your top 3 priorities of what you need to do, reading, meditating, whatever it is, establishing a routine to get yourself prepared for the day. And then, like I mentioned before, cultivate an attitude of gratitude, because we can focus on, oh, look at the world, look what's going on, look at this, what's going on. But actually, I'm grateful that I'm living, I'm breathing, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I've got a roof over my head. Have an attitude of gratitude, and then eliminate the self-sabotage. We get in our own way, and we can come up with all the excuses in the world. And like I said at the beginning, you have to serve notice to those things. I'm going to serve notice to putting out the excuses. I'm going to serve notice to doubting myself. I have a message to share, and I'm going to get it out there. And if one person reads that book, at least my message is out there, because you may not travel the world, but your book will. Impact. And you may never know the impact it will make. It doesn't matter, as long as you write it and get it out there. And the last 2 things is seek the help of others. Get around like-minded people. Ask for help. This is an amazing podcast. Reach out and how you can help and support you. She's the greatness engineer. Come on.
Come on.
She will help you step into your greatness. She's authentic. She's amazing at what she does. She's genuine and just wants to serve people. Reach out to her. She's fantastic at what she does. And then the last thing that Les Brown taught us was surround yourself with OQP. Put that in the comments. OQP. And it stands for only quality people. Hang out with only quality people, and that's going to help you, lift you up. How's your book getting on? How's that getting on? How's your goals? What have you done today? They're going to motivate you and lift you higher. And these are the things that I encourage people to take on board, which is very important.
Fantastic. Whoa, that's very deep, very powerful. I hope and in the audiences has taken note. I can see that Pat has been, able to pick up some few things, take that dedicated time to make a decision. Decide. It all starts with decision. Everything starts with a decision. Make this decision and let's go. And the one that I like as well, Pat, I'm just like you. Stop that stinking thinking. It's just killing. It's killing so many dreams. And it's time to stop. To put a stop on it. And again, the attitude of gratitude. Really be grateful. Whatever is happening around the world. I mean. I always tell people, focus just on the one thing that one thing that you're grateful for, and then forget about the rest and keep going. So it's the same here. And really, it's about the mindset. What do you focus on? And really always have this positivity around you. And Patricia is here. She's saying thank you to you, Tarnya, for helping her take the dedicated time to make a decision, and that's just powerful, because sometimes, like you said, we need the support. You need help. to be able to implement, or even to be able to take that decision. And people like Tarnya, that's what they're doing. They're helping you with doing that, taking this decision. So you serve notice about doubting myself. She's definitely now in a better space, and she's been able to uh, you know she's in the way of being able to become an author, which is fantastic. And it doesn't stop there. And I also like, what Les Brown, the OQP, that Les Brown asks us to focus on only quality people. The people, we always say you have the average of the 5 people that you're spending time with. So make sure you have quality people around you that can actually help you to go to the next level and really bring the best on the table, and help you in the process. So fantastic sharing, fantastic conversation. I hope you've enjoyed it. It doesn't have to stop here. I've just opened the door to the audience, so make sure you connect directly with Tarnya. She has much more, because in 1 hour we can't really share everything. She has much more that she can share about what she's doing and how she's helping people, sharing their message, bringing that voice to the world. And and like she was saying, your book will help you to share around the world. You don't have to be traveling all over the place. Just by writing this book that you have in your heart, and that you really hesitating to write, you can travel the world. And that's an important message, and a powerful message that Tarnya brought here. So anything else that you want to, a last message, something important that you forget to share with us before we leave the platform today? Because obviously we don't want to leave. We've learned so much, and it's been so inspiring. But there's always a last message before we can, close this conversation out.
Thank you. Yes, there's a couple of things that I just want to share very quickly. First, thank you everybody for great engagement and participation, great comments. And I hope that we do take action on what we've shared today, because a year from now, you wish you had started today. And don't be a wandering generality. And this is what Zig Ziglar said: be a meaningful specific, set goals and take action. And my motto that I came up with, and I even wrote a book on it: plan it, see it, anticipate it. Plan what it is that you want to do, plan where you want to go, see it in your mind, visualize it, and then anticipate it. Know that it's going to happen. That's it.
Happen. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tarnya, for for sharing your wisdom today, sharing your expertise as well. And like the audience know, I always bring those champion here, and I call them greatness engineer. I'm not the only greatness engineer here. You are as well. You brought greatness into onto this platform, and I'm really grateful for having you today. And I hope that the audience has been able to to learn a lot. And like I always said, it's one thing to learn, it's one thing to take the notes, but it is important to implement, and to go and implement and take action, because otherwise it's just a waste of time. And please share with anybody that you feel like will need this knowledge that was shared today with by Tarnya, and really connect with her, because it's one thing to to listen to her for 1 hour, but she has much more, and I can attest to that. So just connect with her. And I really wanted to ask you, Tarnya, I forgot, how do people connect with you if they want to continue this conversation?
Yeah, let's continue the conversation. So, like I said, my email, info@ibelieveIcan.co.uk, but also I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram, and it's my name, Tarnya Coley, TarnyaColey. Just reach out, add me as a friend, and let's continue the conversation.
Fantastic. And just the last turn on the comment. Pat is commenting here. Yes, I know, Pat. It's been yeah. Thank you for all. She's thanking us for an amazing, an amazing conversation, and we have Patricia as well here. Thank you, Patricia, for being with us, and everybody. Pat, Noreen. And we have Tuto as well joining now. We had Adigun, and we had Patricia as well, very active. The two part actually very active, and so it's been really engaging, and I love it because at least when I know that we have created an impact, and that your message is resonating with with the audience. So thank you very much, Tanya, for your time and for being my guest today. It has been a very, very insightful and inspiring and powerful conversation today. So all the best, and please, the audience, share and connect with Tanya to know more, and write your story if you're not done it yet. So, and I particularly talk to Pat now because I know she has a book inside her, and she should be writing this book. So connect and get your voice out, get your story out, so that we can actually learn from your journey and learn from you as well. So thank you very much. I will be back for another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. I hope that you're going to join me, but for now is going to be bye bye. And Tanya, all the very best and
Thank
blessing
you.
to you all the way from Perth in Australia. So bye bye, take care, and for the audience, see you next week.